I visited an exhibition called Frida Kahlo and Diego Rivera earlier this week. It was an incredibly well done exhibition for someone like me who likes to draw connections between art and history, among artists and historical figures. I liked it so much that I actually might try to visit it one more time before it moves on. But seeing all of those Frida Kahlo self-portraits in one room, I was struck by a few things that inspired me to create some self-portraits in a similar style. So in this video, I will discuss my process of inspiration from this exhibition to the photo shoot that I came up with. I will share some photos from the shoot, and then I will tell you how you can see more photos and a behind-the-scenes video from this adventure in self-portraiture. I almost never see something and get inspired to mimic it. I'm typically inspired by some element of a piece of art or a music video or a location or any number of other things out in the world. But for this, I envisioned something quite similar to Frida's self-portraits, but stripped of many of the details. Something much more simple, but where you could almost certainly tell where the inspiration came from. I mean, let's be honest, a simple studio setup with a girl in a flower crown isn't exactly a novel idea. It's not like I'm doing something new here, but after seeing the exhibition, I felt motivated to create these simple portraits that are outside of my comfort zone as a photographer and as a model. More on that in a minute though. Now let's talk about the process. The first thing I thought of when this idea sparked was this month's photography theme, Ancient August. And although I wouldn't term Kahlo's work as ancient, it was definitely a different time and place, and that does fit into this month's theme. And then I thought about the formality of the portraits, how erect and still she is in them. The formality of the posing is not a style that I do almost ever, but like I said, something about these just drew me in that day. Also the straight face. She's not smiling, she's not frowning, she's not really making a discernible expression other than maybe concentration. And this is not something I do often as a model, so it's a bit outside my comfort zone. And really they aren't soft at all. These aren't glamour shots, if you will. And so, it didn't seem the place for skin smoothing and selective editing because I wanted to capture the same kind of simple honesty that Frida did. I also thought of the photo shoot that I did last week where I was super relaxed, and although there was barely any editing done to them, they seemed to have a softer feel to them. And the idea of a swing from relaxed to formal really got the wheels turning in my brain, and I guess I was thinking maybe that, I'm due for a slightly more formal studio shoot. Also, the flowers. I have incorporated flowers in a few photo shoots, but I've wanted to do something bigger for a long time. And this type of flower headband is definitely exaggerated in size and in color. I envisioned a shoot where those boldly colored flowers could stand out against a simple background as Frida did. And like I said before, she often included other elements in her portraits, but I wondered if I could keep it all pretty basic around me as the model, but be adorned with the flowers and maybe some colorful jewelry. I looked for some sort of shirt in my closet that would work with the image in my head, but I was dissatisfied with all of them and I just ended up with bare shoulders. And as a side note, I recently saw a pop star in some photos that were almost certainly inspired by Kahlo, but they seemed to go more ornate with it, where I was so intrigued by the simplicity. And last, I am reviewing a camera right now. It's my new Canon Rebel SL2/EOS 200D. It's right here. And I wanted to test out a few things with it. So I wanted to know how it handles in a studio setting with studio lighting, using an external flash to optically trigger my strobes. Also, I wanted to use the wireless functionality to see how it works with the phone app to trigger the camera remotely to do self-portraits. And also the colors of the flowers are a great way to provide you all with some examples of image quality and how the camera deals with those colors. And I'll share my thoughts on all of those things and some some photos that are straight out of the camera in my review of the SL2 next week. In the meantime, there is a link in the description below. There is one more sample photo there, plus Snapchick VIPs and Patreon Zion and Beyond patrons. That is where you can log in to see the entire gallery of images, plus a behind the scenes video, from setting up the studio to making the flower headband, all the way through the editing process. And for those of you who may be interested in that, but you aren't sure, you can learn more about my VIP program and Patreon page at that link as well. So thanks for watching, everyone. And if you'll share, I'd love to know, when was the last time that you were inspired by something that you saw? And what was it? Was it art or was it something else? I'm interested to know, but I think we all struggle with inspiration from time to time, and your story may help one of the rest of us to light that creative spark. And one more thing. You may notice that this video looks a little different than normal. I'm in a different spot. I am traveling right now, so I'm shooting on a webcam in a hotel. I'm traveling for a very special reason, though. It's for my next photo shoot, Snapchick Bikini 2017. That's all I'm going to say about that right now. So thanks for watching all the way to the end, and I'll talk to you soon.